and breathe. Evening. I don't know who's tuning into this. Maybe you might be watching Man City's victory parade, etc., or victory sort of trophy lifting, whatever you want to call it. But in case you hadn't realised, Spurs have beaten a top side. Oh, I bet yeah. Spurs have beaten a side in the top half of the table in 2021. 2021, yeah. It's remarkable scenes, unbelievable scenes, Jeff. It's weird. I didn't expect it at all. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't expect Spurs to win today. How you doing, Jordan? You okay?
I'm good, and just as shocked as you. I think I saw a stat just before the game which said we hadn't won in our last 7 games against the side above us in the league. So that's from, at the time, maybe 8th upwards or 7th upwards. We hadn't won against them in the last 7. So surprised in the way we've done it as well. I didn't think we had that about us. But yeah. How you doing? How'd you find today? Feeling good?
Bittersweet. I think this is one of the first times where I've been upset that Spurs have won. It's crazy to say that, but because I didn't want to be in the European Conference League, I made my feelings on that abundantly clear. I did not want to be in that dead competition, and I didn't want Chelsea in the Champions League.
Yeah.
So I would have liked for Leicester to put the nail in our coffin this season and just keep us out of that competition and strengthen their boost for Champions League. But honestly, that was a spectacular disaster class from Leicester in the second half. It's crazy. If we did that, people would be saying, "Oh, Spursy." Like, that is a mad collapse. Yeah. Mad collapse.
2 seasons in a row as well. That's
mad collapse.
Yeah, I know. I think exactly what you said. You know, it's I don't know if I call it bittersweet, but it was like a catch-22 situation. And I think whenever Spurs play, like I said, I didn't expect to win, but I can't ever say that I want them to lose. Do you know what I mean? I get why people are saying that, but I can't bring myself to say that. But on the same side, as much as people go, it doesn't matter. I didn't want Arsenal to finish above us. I didn't. Even though it's 8th or 7th and 8th, whatever it is this season. So it doesn't really say anything positive about either side. But I didn't want them to finish above us. I didn't want to give Chelsea the Champions League slot and whatever. But I think I'm happy that was the last day of the season. Like, I can't feel any more pain this season. Do you know what I'm saying? It's done. But I think it was a nice way to cap it off. Do you know what I mean? Like, they're a decent side, Leicester. I thought when we went 2-1 down, I thought you'd see us just wilt again, but showed a bit of character. It was a decent. If you just to isolate the game, it was a nice way to cap off the season. It's been an absolute disaster pretty much from December onwards. So yeah,
you're right. I think that's the first time we've beaten. That's the first win we've had against the side currently in the top 5 or top 6 in the table this season, since Man United, that 6-1 back in September, I think. Was it September? Yeah. So, like you said, in isolation, 3 points, Kane on the score sheet, Gareth Bale coming on to score twice, beating a side who have won a trophy this season and, in my opinion, deserve the top 4 spot. But when you look at it in totality, it's been a dreadful season, and the positive is the season is over. Lambs, I know why you're celebrating. Lambs is a Chelsea fan. Big up, Lambs. I've got so many Chelsea fans at me on Twitter and Instagram. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I knew Chelsea would bottle it. Yeah. I predicted 2-1 to Villa on the Big Six. I knew Chelsea were not going to win this. I just had something in me that told me they're not going to win this game. So how did Leicester botch this one? How did they botch this one?
This is the thing. I mean, we've seen them do it before, and look, Leicester have won a trophy, so we're in no position to speak about them in it. But ultimately, people are saying Brendan Rodgers this. That's 2 seasons in a row now where they've been comfortable in the top 4, leading up to like the final 5-10 games or whatever, and you can just see them fall off. And look, they have had injuries as well. I see Fofana went off today. Evans, like some crucial players for them. Maddison's been out for a lot of the season, all of this, but ultimately it's poor in it. I mean, today was next level stuff. It literally, like, you think at one point they needed a draw anyway, and they were playing like it was playground football, like opened the game up themselves. And I don't know, you know that you play against Spurs, especially you've watched this all season, is if you just close that, like if you don't play an open game, we can't play the ball through the midfield. We'll have no joy. It doesn't matter about Son, Kane, Bale, anyone like that. If you don't give us space, we can't do anything. The fact that they went gung ho and were trying to score constantly, it's just opened up space in behind. And when you've got Bale on the pitch, even Bergwijn to a degree, I give him a sliver of credit today for you. It just fed into our hands, and I don't know why they done it. They didn't need to. Do you know what I mean? One, they even two on it. They just didn't need to, and they lost their heads, man. Lost their heads, and I feel for them because, like you say, I think they deserve it over the likes of Chelsea and whoever. I think over the season as a whole, they've played like really nice football. Everyone knows that the majority of people actually like them as a club, as a side, as whatever. So I was. It sounds weird saying I was disappointed for them because I wasn't. We won the game, but I get your point with it. Do you know what I mean? I think they deserved it, and it's a shame they didn't make it. Really.
Yeah, but the capitulation in the second half was crazy. But let's actually, we'll get on to Harry Kane in a second as we discussed off air. But let's actually talk about the starting lineup, because I mean, Ryan Mason, we gave him our criticism, and rightly so, because some of the performances that we saw in that game was exactly why we didn't want some of these players starting.
Yeah. And
yet somehow we've come away with 3 points. But I don't know. Talk to me about the lineup, because I'm seeing Winks starting after he played so poorly against who is it? Sorry, who did we play with? Aston Villa. Sorry, I'm seeing Bergwijn. I can just about understand it because he scored that rocket or whatever. But I thought the whole point of resting Gareth Bale midweek was so you can
trust me.
So you can start it. So you can start him today. So then it was weird to see him left on the bench. But I guess you could say Mason masterstroke there, brought him on, won the game, whatever. Cool. So I think there's both ways to look at it. Like, ultimately, I have to give Ryan Mason credit for this win. I have to give him some credit for this win, because he's the guy in the dugout. He selected the side despite our criticism. He was the one that made those changes. And I mean, one of his key substitutions has literally come on and he's won us the game. So credit to Ryan Mason. I think we scored 3 goals? 3 goals in the second half. Yeah. I can't remember the last time we scored 3 goals in the second half of football.
Against a decent side as well.
Against a decent side. So you got to give him credit. But talk to me about some of the initial thoughts on the lineup.
I mean, the lineup's crazy, and it has been fairly crazy in an aspect for a number of weeks. Like you say, the main one for me being Harry Winks is every time this man plays football, it's no better. It's no better than the game before. Sometimes worse. The bar with him now is so low that if he makes a pass 10 yards, I'm like, right, swear down. Because he usually goes out for a throw. I mean, I saw it today. A number of times, he kicked the ball out or kicked it at someone's chest. Just like, what? You can't, this doesn't, and I know I've said it to you, and people will call me a crackpot conspiracy theorist or something, but there was reports when Jose got sacked that he was being asked by Levy to play the likes of Dele, to play the likes of Winks, to keep their value up, and potentially if they need to sell in the summer, they need them to play minutes. And it's no surprise to me that those players that were supposedly in those reports are, because you look at it, and the way I'm looking at it, I may be completely wrong, is that we're getting told we've got no money, and the only way that we're going to be able to buy players is by raising funds.
Yeah.
So you're going to try and sell Dele Alli after playing barely any minutes for the whole season, 0 goals, 0 assists. You're going to try and sell Harry Winks, who's played barely any minutes. Also, it all just makes sense to me that the players that they're going to want to ship out, they're trying to get into the side at the end of the season when they know the season's over. We're not going to go and achieve anything now. So they're playing them. They're playing them, hoping that Dele's had a few, maybe 2 decent halves or 2 decent 2/3 of a game over the last couple of weeks to try and get an extra 5 million, 10 million, something like that. And I genuinely think that's what it is, because there's no reason for it. Like you say, we've gone there and go for footballing reasons. There's no reason why Ndombele should be out the side and Harry Winks should be playing. There's no reason why Joe Rodon's dropped down a pecking order. Well, there is, because they know that Joe Rodon's not going to leave in the summer. There's no way that transfer's come in and he's going straight out. Sanchez and Dyer, they're two options in which you can get maybe 20, 25 million pounds for somewhere. So it just makes sense to me as to why these players are all of a sudden just thrown back into the mix. But from a footballing standpoint, we've been speaking for a couple of weeks about how Dyer is still playing, and I was saying it's a lesser of two evils with Dyer and Sanchez, but I don't think it is. I think I'm putting my money out there and saying Sanchez is worse. This guy gives me so much anxiety when he plays football.
The thing is, I think at their very best, Sanchez is better. But
I know what you mean.
Sanchez has been so bad this season. He's been our worst defender this season, without a doubt, without a shadow.
Yeah,
worst central defender, because we've had Matt Doherty at right back, but he's been our worst central defender without a doubt, without a shadow of a doubt.
And it's the thing. It's the way, as I told. We've spoken depth on it months ago. It's just the head. It's just a head loss after one thing. And people were saying to me with the penalty, I saw it all over Twitter, was like, actually, it's not his fault. Blah blah blah. Jamie Vardy initiated the contact, and I said the thing is, yes, maybe you're right, but it is his fault and the way he's played over the last 3 or 4 years. Because Jamie Vardy's not an idiot. He knows you get into the box, you initiate contact with Davinson Sanchez. Yeah. The referee's going to give a penalty because people know what he's like. And ultimately, the ball's going away from goal. Why are you touch tight to Jamie Vardy anyway? Why are you on top of his back? It's just a ludicrous defender at times, and it made no sense to me. I agree that Jamie Vardy's put his arm in there, but I think it's made his mind up for him. I'm still blaming Sanchez for that. You don't need to get that tight. You don't need to be all over his back like that. And Jamie Vardy's a smart striker. He knows. I don't blame Vardy for that. I don't think that's cheating. I don't think that's. I still
neither do I. Yeah. I think he's a calamity waiting to happen these days. And attackers know that, like you said, like they know that if they can isolate this guy, they're gonna get some change out of him. Yeah. And as Spurs fans, the worst thing we want to see is Davinson Sanchez drag that wide and isolate it, because we know what's going to happen next. We know what's going to happen. Yep. He's rash and he just overcommits. And I knew that was a good pass. Don't get twisted. For the first goal, it was a good pass, but it was so he's meant to be strong and fast. Like that's his MO. That's why he's in the team, because when we play a high line and we push up, you are the one who can help in a foot race. And yet Vardy gets the better out of him, and then Alderweireld poor. Yeah, I don't know what Alderweireld was thinking there. That was so poor from him.
That's lazy defending, and I think that goes down to his legs to a degree, but he just can't get in the right. And we said it before, where Tobi was used to be in the right positions. He's lost the legs to be able to do that, and his recovery is not there. And he just you see it so often now. He's lazy with certain things. He tries to cut corners and for his own fitness and his own age, I guess, or whatever. But so bad. Just to stick a leg out like that in the penalty area was madness. And I think you have to not focus on it. But I think where we're criticising Sanchez, and rightly so, because he's an appalling centre back, you have to kind of keep the same energy for Alderweireld in that situation, because it was terrible. It was really bad.
Yeah, so obviously we've gone 1-0 down now. And I'm not going to do a blow by blow of the game, innit? But this Harry Kane guy he's something special.
Yeah.
He's absolutely incredible. And it makes me question how he's not winning all the accolades this season. Like we were talking off air, like Ruben Diaz won the Football Writers Association Awards, and I'm thinking, fantastic season. Man City have won the League Cup, etc. But on an individual level, has he really been the best player this season?
No, it's hands down. It's hands down Harry Kane, and I think the reason people say to me as to why he doesn't win it is the reason why I think he does or should win it, which is, but your team's still seventh. You haven't won anything. You haven't achieved anything. So it hasn't, if he was part of that Leicester side, for example, that won the FA Cup, or he was part of the City side that just won the Premier League, he hands down gets it. But because the team has been so poor, that's the argument. But I think ultimately to get, 23 Premier League goals, 14 Premier League assists, finish top of both of them charts in a side that's finished seventh, tells me that's even more impressive. You put him in a better side, those numbers go up, they don't go down. So like you say, just a special player, a special player.
100%, and he's elite. And there's been reports this week of people saying, "Oh, what he's done is disrespectful, etc., etc." Like, I don't really get it. Like,
No.
why are players not allowed to speak their mind these days? Like, I think, don't get it twisted. I think the treatment he's had in comparison to other players who have previously come out and spoken of their desire to leave and stuff, it tells you everything you need to know about, you know, the not stereotyping, but the unconscious bias that some people have when a certain player of a certain skin tone says the exact same thing as a certain player with a different skin tone. So there is that to contend with, but like, what is actually wrong in what he said? Like, and I know we've spoken about the Football Writers Association Awards, but I'm gonna play a clip now. And this was so Joel Bale, shout out Joel. He interviewed Ruben Diaz. He interviewed Ruben Diaz for just after he won the Football Writers Association Awards. And this is what Ruben Diaz had to say about Man City. Yeah. So Kane, he's talking about ambition, he's talking about Spurs getting over the line, etc., etc. Watch how Ruben Diaz talks about Man City here. One sec. I'll play it for you now. Just watch how this guy talks about Man City and tell me that's not a club that's hell-bent on winning and a club that literally fits Harry Kane like a glove now when you hear the stuff that he said. One sec. I'm going to play it here now.
Representing exclusively for Tapping Tobs, and here's an exclusive interview with this year's FWA Footballer of the Year, Manchester City superstar, Mr. Ruben Diaz. You know, you mentioned the club a lot, your teammates, how much you've enjoyed being at the club. Do you have any messages for the Manchester City fans?
Essentially, what I have as a message for them is that I'm really happy to be here. I'm really happy to be in a club with this ambition, I would consider equal to mine. Everyone wants to win, either the fans, the players, the staff, everyone is involved in the process, everyone wants to do better.
There you go. There you go. And you heard him. Everyone wants to win. Everyone wants to do better. Everyone is pulling in the same direction. At Spurs, Harry Kane spoke about how the team lacked leaders, how a conversation needs to be had with Daniel Levy. He's basically saying that I've asked you to step up to this level. I've asked you to pull this team to a level close to mine where we can actually go over the edge. And it's not happened. It's not happened. And yet people are shocked that he's speaking his mind about wanting to go to a team like that. Ruben Diaz has only been there not even a year. Not even a full calendar year he's been there. And look at how he speaks about the club.
I mean, what's he meant to do, though, as a player? I mean, personally, and I think especially since the ESL stuff, you've had fans everywhere, or what I've been seeing is calling for people to, people within the club. People are asking Jose to do it for ages, to call out Daniel Levy's bullshit, call out the situations that mean, as the reasons as to why we're in this situation. And all he's done, basically, is agree and confirm what we've been talking about and how he's neglected what's on the pitch and how he's not really invested properly in the squad. And he's finally said it. And I don't think he said it. He's not said anything in a disrespectful manner. He's basically spoken about ambition. I think anyone in their own careers will move on or try and get to a point where they're progressing and being successful in their career. And if you're in a position where you feel that can't happen, what do you do? I don't understand. I don't think he's done anything wrong whatsoever. He's done what we've all been crying out for, which is for people actually to be vocal about the situation in the club. We always go, no one ever tells us what's going on inside the club. We never know what's happening. Our star striker's just told you.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So now you can't lay the blame anywhere else.
Exactly.
Do you know what I mean? And I don't know why it's hurt so many people. We've seen it so many times with our biggest players leaving. Yeah. I'm glad he's done it. I'm glad he's done it. It puts Daniel Levy in a catch-22. And if he doesn't now do what he needs to do to try and keep him, or do you know what I mean? Then where does the blame lie?
Yeah,
at his door. I
agree.
So there's nothing more to be said. I can't justify or even understand the rationale as to why people would blame Kane. I mean, it would be different. Like, we've seen players potentially before, down tools or refused to. This is not Harry Kane. Harry Kane's come on today and scored another goal after all of this stuff that's happened. Put in a shift, put in a performance again. Harry Kane's not like that. Harry Kane will play for this club as long as he he has to, I guess. But he will give everything. So there's no negative connotations to what he's done. strange for me.
It's an interesting one. It's an interesting one, and the thing is, this is going to be an ever developing story in the summer as well, because I think the intent is there for him to leave. So it's just going to be a case of whether a club like Man City, who Ruben Diaz spoke so highly about, come in for him. But I mean, back on the matter itself, 23 league goals, 14 assists. He's got to win PFA Player of the Year for me.
Yeah.
I don't think there should be any two ways about it as well. And today as well, obviously getting a goal, getting an assist, that finish.
Yeah, silly.
That finish. The guy is actually ridiculous. I think that's his 15th. That's his 15th league goal in 12 appearances against Leicester.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think of the word there. I don't think people realise how difficult that finish is. Like, he made it. But that's how good he is. He's made that look effortless. Like, the ball's behind him, he's watching it come off a deflection, and the connection that is, just another level. And that's what I think. You look back at other strikers we've had that have been decent. They're nowhere near for me, bro. Like, I think I can't remember if I was watching you. I can't remember if I was on the show. I was watching you. You were mentioning likes of Teddy Sheringham and so, and I was like, top strikers, but it's just another level for me. And I don't think people really understand the impact it will have if we lose him, which is looking more and more likely to me by the day. But yeah,
it is. I still think it's 50-50. I think there is a genuine chance he can leave this summer, but I still think there's a genuine chance he can stay this summer just because of the money involved. So let's see what's what.
Did you see it at the end of the games though? Just a quick side note. Do you think it looked like a little goodbye to some players, or with Dele and Son in particular, or not reading too much of that?
I don't know, man.
You see his wife going up on Instagram as well.
What did his wife's brother say?
His wife put up a story of that hug and then like a crying face next to it. I was like, right, okay.
A hug to who? A hug to
so Kane, Son, and Dele, that hug after the game when they were there for like too long. She put up a story of that on Instagram with like a crying face next to it, almost like it's a sad kind of ending thing. That's what I'm saying. People could read into it, but it looked a bit like a farewell, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I try not to read into those sort of like
I know what you mean
situations. I like to see it like
confirmed.
Black and white. Yeah. Black and white. So I think with Kane in mind, then I think he's gonna. As I said, 50-50 he leaves this summer, but on the actual game itself, excellent finish.
Yeah.
But then even at 2-1 down, okay, Ryan Mason, he makes the changes that I would have wanted him to make against Aston Villa. Like, Lucas Moura was poor today, but I would have thought Lucas Moura and Gareth Bale should have come on earlier against Aston Villa. I didn't really understand that as well. But they came on today, and credit to them, they changed the game. I felt like, obviously, that game in the second half, weird goal for Leicester to concede to that second goal. Like, I don't know what the hell Kasper Schmeichel was doing.
Especially,
very, very good. Like, he's a good keeper as well. Like, quite experienced as well. I don't know what he was playing at for that goal, but that was really poor. Like, just gave us a goal back into the game out of nothing. And I think when they were throwing the game at us, I think that's where you saw the best of us, because more space opening up for our attackers and stuff. Like, it was actually good to see in the second half.
I agree, and I think that's what I was sort of alluding to earlier. Was like on our second goal. I guess I agree. I think Kasper Schmeichel was usually their most consistent performer, probably over a season. Gets them so many points, which was a strange one. But you're absolutely right. I think they started just chasing the game, and like you say, I mean, I've always got fairly positive things to say about the likes of Gareth Bale, but I'm fully aware that if they got men behind the ball, he's not going to go beating people. And down the wing and whatever. But I think if you give him space, he's still as ruthless and clinical as ever. And the likes when we had Son on and you brought Lucas on, they're just going to run if they got space to run into. It's a problem for anyone. Which is why I said I think it was just naive from Leicester, because I think if they'd have kept the game tight and applied gentle pressure, they know that our back four can't handle it. They can't deal with them situations, and they've probably got more chances. But they opened up, and you can say they're very similar to us in those situations. They can't get over the line in those situations. By the FA Cup, we'll give them that. But it reminded me a lot of us in those situations. Do you know what I mean? It's like they hadn't got to the Champions League in a while since they won the Prem, I think, wasn't it? And it was just foreign to them. It was just foreign.
With them, I'll look at the bigger picture though. Like you said, they've got an FA Cup win under their belt.
Yeah.
Yes, they bottled the Champions League again, but this is very much a side who are on an upward trajectory. 2 consecutive fifth place finishes, and now a trophy to boot as well.
Agreed.
You expect, it seems like there's year-on-year improvement from these guys. So, as I said, the only downer is helping those wankers from West London secure top 4. Because that's pissed me off now. That would have added an extra sense of pressure for them heading into the Champions League final. And for me, that would have given me the vim I needed to pam the hell out of all of them. Chelsea Twitter personalities that I know, but it's annoying. But anyway, yeah, Gareth Bale.
You see his comment as well.
What did he say? Oh yeah, about how he doesn't want to say anything. He's learned his lesson. He's learned his lesson. Listen, but on Gareth Bale, I think it's fair. We can all say he's not had a good season. For me, I think it's weird to say that, but in comparison to the hype, to what we expected from Gareth Bale in terms of his actual performances, I don't think he's had a good season. I can name many stinkers he's had, but this is what I'm going to say. But the numbers are pretty good. I'm not going to lie. Most of them are against like scrubs. Yeah. Fair enough. But the numbers are pretty good. What is it, like 34? I think 34 games in total this season.
16 goals, 2 assists.
3 assists. For a player who's not even played well all season, that's a pretty solid return.
Most appearances are off the bench as well.
That's a pretty solid return. I think he's got something like 10 or 11 starts in the league.
Yeah.
Like that's impressive. I'm not gonna lie. Like those numbers are impressive. And this is what I was saying. When we were discussing, should we keep him? I still think the club should go for a new winger this summer. But if we can't get a new winger and we get Gareth Bale for one more season, I don't think I'm going to complain.
No.
Piss off, Babs, man. Stop talking about Gareth. Yeah, go on.
No, I know what you mean. And I think, in an ideal situation, if you look at who's at the top of the Premier League or who's challenging up there, they have more dynamism in their front three. Gareth Bale can't bring you that anymore.
Yeah.
But like you said, ultimately, I'll be very, very surprised if Bergwijn gets shipped out in this summer. Can I see him bringing in another wide forward on the right that's of genuine quality that can go and grab us 15 goals, similar to maybe Son on the other side? No. So
apparently we should go for. Apparently, I was told last week on a midweek stream that Callum Hudson-Odoi is a better player than Gareth Bale. This current version of Gareth Bale. I was told that by two men, Lee Gunner and Matisse. They told me that Callum Hudson-Odoi would offer Spurs more than Gareth Bale right now. Like Callum Hudson-Odoi now. Yeah. Yeah, I know.
You know these people.
Yeah, I do. I'm good friends with both of them.
You shouldn't.
But yeah, it's nuts to me. But honestly, like what I was saying for Gareth Bale as well is it's about time he turned up against a good side.
Yeah.
Like we had the cameo against Man City where he came on as a sub for 15 minutes, did his thing. We had the cameo against West Ham, changed the game for us. But when he started against Arsenal, shit. Started against Leeds, shit. Substitute appearances against Liverpool when we were down 3-1, shite. Yeah. Came on as a sub against Leicester in the reverse fixture, shite. Like he's had so many bad performances against some of these top sides. So for me, it was a breath of fresh air to see him come on against a side like Leicester and by all accounts win us that game, because that's what he did. And I think he was instrumental in the first. He was instrumental in his first goal, because he played the pass into Son, who then backheeled it for Kane, who took it past the keeper, and then laid it off for him to score. And then the second one, like, I don't want to give him too much credit, because it was again a catastrophe from Soyuncu, boots it into his own player, falls to Gareth Bale, and he's literally just ran in a straight line.
Yeah,
he's ran in a straight line, but obviously Harry Kane's run is taking away Soyuncu. And I think Tielemans can't keep up. And then he's just running in a straight line and he just pokes it past the goalkeeper. It's crazy.
Yeah, and I think that's what we're saying is, like, with Gareth Bale.
He's come on and he's won us the game. And I don't even think that's his best performance for Spurs.
No. He's and I think he's played better for like a longer period in games. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But this is my point with Gareth Bale. It's like,
it's match for you.
Yeah, you don't need, like, I'm just trying to think, like, if you had a really strong side, if you had a strong midfield that was dominating the ball, you were comfortable that your back four wasn't going to literally give away 2 penalties every game, then he's the kind of player you want, because he doesn't need to be involved all the time. And Gareth, let's be honest, even Real Madrid and even his time at Spurs, in his last season, he did kind of carry the side, but he's very rarely, like, been involved constantly. He's a moments kind of player, and I just think, as I've said to you before, a sniff in front of goal, he's just so clear. It's just cold. It's just ice in the veins, quite literally, man. And exactly that. You know, he come on today and he's won us the game against, like you said, a decent side. And I think, I don't know what he's already decided that he wants to do. Apparently, he already knows. But ultimately, I think because I just can't see us going and getting anyone where you go, all right, yeah, Fez, like, you know, got the quality to hold down that right. That right wing position. I just don't think it will happen. So it's I wouldn't quite say it's a no-brainer for me, but it's I think it should be done. I see some was it Romano come out just after the game saying that the Madrid want to sell him or want to sell loads of players, and there's already a meeting with Jonathan Barnett or something like that. So I could see it happening. I don't know if it was going to happen though. So would you take him on a permanent? Or do you try and get another loan just so you can ship him straight out after 1 year?
I mean, his contract is up next summer.
Yeah.
Next summer. So, listen, I want a new winger. I want a mention. I don't want to keep flogging dead horses, but it's hard to overlook someone who scores 16 goals in 34 games for you. Like, we can... It's safe to say we can do a lot worse than Gareth Bale. 100%. We can do a lot worse than Gareth Bale, which is why I'm saying, if I see him as a Spurs player next season, it's not the end of the world. It's not even. I don't even think it's a bad thing.
No, I agree.
To have someone like him who can score 16 goals. Because let's face it, our other wingers aren't doing shit. No. They ain't doing shit.
No, I agree. Someone with end product, and I think, like you say, 16 goals actually from a wide position. I know that's the modern, you know, inverted winger, and they should be scoring goals, but that's impressive, man. That is impressive for someone like you say, because when you look at it, you go, yeah, bad. He's not actually had a good season. Like, I don't look at it and go, yeah, good season from Gareth Bale.
Yeah.
And the amount of minutes he's played has been minimal up until probably the last 2 months or so. And the numbers just don't lie, man. And I think, you know, he's even outscored, different league, obviously, different quality potentially, but he's outscored his like last 2 proper seasons at Madrid as well. Which is
this one's for you as well. We're not going to spend too much time on this as well. This one's for you. I'll let you answer this because I spoke about Bergwijn on the Touchline Hotspur podcast on Friday. Like, my problem, in fact, I'm going to speak. My problem with Bergwijn is this: he doesn't impact games enough for me. It's that simple. He doesn't score enough. He doesn't create enough. And even in the absence of goals and assists, he actually does not give us lively performances. It's weird. That's like he's strong. He's meant to be strong, fast, direct, but you never really see him having strong performances. Go on, the floor is yours.
Take it away. No, I've joked about it a lot, and I could do it again. And people know my thoughts on Bergwijn, but I can give you more of a serious answer. If it was up to me, he wouldn't be here next season. And like you say, it's not because I don't like him. It's not because he's had a bad season in terms of just goal return and goal contributions and whatever. But ultimately, I don't see what he brings, and I don't see where the development comes because I don't see the strengths in which you can try and improve on. He's shown glimpses of pace and whatever. Like you say, he's meant to be strong on the ball, but I see him get knocked off the ball constantly. As a technical footballer, I see him give the ball away a lot. I see him misplacing passes. I see him scared to take on players, so he never beats anyone. And then ultimately, again, like I say, aside from the goal contributions, but actually bringing it back to that, there's no return. You know, we can talk about Gareth Bale not having as much of an in-game impact, but he brings us goals. He brings us assists. Bergwijn brings neither. And he costs. Go on.
No, go on.
I was just going to say, and you know, that's £30 million of limited budget that we've supposedly got. That's given the side zero. And you know, people would have said it, especially under Jose, because I think Jose even tasked him with that because he knew he wasn't going to score. Which was, you know, he runs a lot. He covers the fullback sometimes, but what's the point? I think that the best way for me to summarize it is I don't like. What's the point in him? Yeah. I don't see the point. And I know you, Tobs, have said you're given one more season previously, and you could potentially see where.
Even then, I'm not gonna lie, I'm shaky, man, because you know what? Let me just stick to my guns. It's hypocritical of me, but I will give him one more season. I will, but
I don't think you got a choice, mate, because he's not going.
Yeah, exactly. I totally acknowledge everything you say, and I agree with everything you say. But I'm just like, come on, there has to be some level of improvement on this season. There has to be. There just has to be.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I mean, Harry Winks has got a goal this year. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm saying? I'm not.
He was shit today, by the way.
Yeah. I can talk about him for a while, man. I just look at, you know, we're supposedly this side that's meant to be in the top 6, let's say, and then you go down to, you know, I'm looking at players like Redmond and it's just they're just better than him, and I've just got like so many what I would call average Premier League footballers, or you know, bottom half Premier League footballers that I'd rather them in my squad than Bergwijn. I just don't see anything that he brings to the side. I don't want people to think that's me being personal to it, because I'm sure he's a lovely bloke, and I'm sure he can make a success of his career somewhere else. But I think the level's above him, and I don't see that he can change that here. And I hope I'm wrong. I hope, like you say, Tob, next season just spins it around on me and makes me look like an idiot. But I can't see it, mate. No.
Yes, we'll have to wait and see, won't we? Last talk before we wrap up our last post-match reaction of the season. European Conference League, talk to me.
I know nothing about it. That's how disinterested I am. Like, I don't know. I know the finals in Albania. Is it Albania? Yeah. I see that on Twitter today. Stadium looks nice. That's all I know. I don't know the format of it. Is it a group stage? Is it, how many teams are in it?
It's 184 clubs.
Sorry?
184 clubs in it. So there's going to be teams qualifying. There'll be 184 clubs will play in the competition.
How many rounds are there?
There's loads of qualifying rounds just to get in. Yeah. And
right.
So I think we go straight into the group stages, I believe. So you play the group stage, and I believe the third place team, let me even get it. The third place team has to play a playoff. It's weird. It's very, very weird. It's just a shit tournament, man. It's a shit tournament. And it's gonna be a waste of our time and our resources. And it's like, let me just get a photo up of it. So yeah. So the winners of the group will go to the round of 16. So this is the group stage, by the way.
Right.
The second place team will play a knockout round playoff game versus the third place team in the Europa League. Yeah.
Right.
To decide which next set of 16 odd teams play in the round of 16.
So you're telling me top goes through the round of 16, and then second of out, say we're in the group, say we go through. Second in our group then plays the drop down from the Europa League in a knockout clash to then actually get to the round of 16.
Yes, exactly. And before you even get to the group stage, I can't even remember, but there's tons of qualifying rounds. It is a woeful competition.
That's a good point. Someone's just put in the comments. A good question, actually. When is it played? Is it on Thursdays?
It's on Thursdays, yeah. I think it's on Thursdays.
Can we do what Klopp did when they had the Super Cup? Can we actually enter like the 23s or something?
I don't know, but listen,
it's just ridiculous, isn't it? It's just like what's the point? Unless like, do we get money for getting in it? Right.
Yeah, you get money. We get money, which is what I was speaking to one of my mates. He was looking at it from that side, which is understandable. He's looking at it because it brings us more money. But for me, I'm like, just sort out the team.
Yeah,
sort out the team. Like, if we're not going to be in Europa, which would have given us more money, and if you win it, entry into the Champions League, I don't want it. I don't want it because it's just ultimately going to be derailing our season for what, to win a trophy that guarantees Europa League football. That
traveling to some mad place on a Thursday.
Yeah. I'm not happy we're in this competition. I'm not. I bet two of my mates £50 each that Arsenal would finish above. I mean, Spurs would finish above Arsenal, and I was ready to pay them £100 happily because I didn't want to be in this competition. I didn't want to be in this competition, but yeah. It's going to be interesting.
But
yeah.
Not for me.
Neither, same. And now we're in it. Apparently, Roma might be in it next year as well, so we could meet. We could link up with Jose Mourinho. Yeah,
that'd be nice. But I guess final note from me on it is it's just not an established competition. Do you know what I mean? I think obviously competitions have to get established at some point, but there's no need for it. Like I've got it with the UEFA Cup was rebranded. Like if you kind of rebrand in the same competition, fine, but to create a new competition to include loads of teams across Europe for the sake of it, there's no prestige in it. Like, you know,
it's just more money for them. That's what.
That's what I mean. If we go and win it next year, what are we claiming that as a trophy? We're
gonna have to. Yeah, it will be the inaugural competition. It will be the inaugural third tier competition.
And if we win it, do we go into the Europa League next year?
Yeah, we do.
Do we actually? Oh
yeah.
Fucking hell.
Yeah. We do.
Oh,
we do. And what worries me is this competition is so tin pot, but we're even more tin pot, and we're not going to win it.
No. You know as well, innit? We're going to lose in the group stages to young boys turn again. Yeah, no, I don't.
But anyway, listen. It's been a dreadful season, and I, for one, I'm happy to see the back of this season. I'm very happy. I'm happy that it's won me. I'm happy that it's won me some money at least. Because I've got a bet in play now, and funnily enough, I need Roma to win, and I need Atalanta in Milan over 2.5 goals, and then I think I'm up £200 just off £10. So yeah, but dreadful end to the season. But honestly, thank you for coming on to all the previews. I'll be in touch. For those who are still watching, I'm gonna be in touch as well this summer. I'm gonna be doing some interesting sort of think pieces. Some will be on players, some will be on the team, some will just be on general football, because I think a lot of people enjoy when I just speak about football generally. I think I did a preview on Saturday where we were just literally just talking football. But I mean, for tonight, I'm going to sit in, hopefully see Milan clinch European Champions League qualification. I don't want Juve in it. Hopefully they get it. And PSG Lille, that title race is finally coming to an end in a bit. So it will be interesting to see, because I think Lille are away to Angers and PSG are away to Brest. So it's going to be interesting to see. But anyway, Jordan, thank you for coming on.
Pleasure as always.
Yeah, and for those who are still watching as well, make sure you smash a like. And yeah, just look out for any sort of announcements I put on my Twitter, on my Instagram, or my YouTube community tab as well. I'm going to be back again on Tuesday with Fuad, Jenk, and Henry on the THFC show. That'll be episode 6. It's my turn this week, so it's on my channel. So look out for that. And then, take care. Peace out.
The pain is over.
There's more than one.